What up? This is Rama Screen covering movies, TV, and entertainment, and here's my review of Netflix new series, Jupiter's Legacy. Hey, before you watch my review, please subscribe to my channel, press that like button, and ring that bell so you can get notified whenever I post new videos. And if you would like to help support this channel, please do so at patreon.com/ramascreen. That's patreon.com/ramascreen. Let's rock this. First up, I would like to say thank you to Netflix for granting me the screener to this entire new show. They've asked me to not spill spoilers, therefore this review is spoiler-free. I repeat, there are no spoilers in this video review. My first reaction after watching the entire 8 episodes was, wow, this is a superhero show that's really dramatic and unique. Of course, there was that 2019 HBO Watchmen series that blew our minds, but Jupiter's Legacy is phenomenal in a different way. It leans toward the legacy part of the title more heavily than I expected. A lot of substantive themes that come into play, from dysfunctional family drama to young generation desperate to forge their own path, to our heroes disheartened at the idea that their code might be outdated. Plus, there's also an underlying capitalism commentary as well. But not once do I get the impression that the show is biting off more than it can chew. If you've come just to see the visual effects superpower action, the show's got plenty of that. But for the most part, Jupiter's Legacy is more concerned with giving you a grounded, compelling, character-driven adventure that hopefully sparks some conversation. Based on Mark Miller and Frank Whiteley's graphic novels, developed for TV and executive produced by Stephen S. D. Knight, in Jupiter's Legacy, after nearly a century of keeping mankind safe, the world's first generation of superheroes must look to their children to continue the legacy. But tensions rise as the young superheroes, hungry to prove their worth, struggle to live up to their parents' legendary public reputations and exacting personal standards. Starring Josh Duhamel as Sheldon Sampson, aka the Utopian, Ben Daniels as Walter Sampson, aka Brainwave, Leslie Bibb as Grace Sampson, aka Lady Liberty, Andrew Horton as Brandon Sampson, aka Paragon, Alina Kamporis as Chloe Sampson, Mike Wade as Fitz Small, aka The Flare, and Matt Lanter as George Hutchins, aka Skyfox. Prior to this, if you ask me to picture somebody who could embody the equivalence of Superman, Josh Duhamel would have been the furthest thing on my mind. But here, he proves me wrong. He terrifically conveys the wisdom and the regrets that the Utopian carries on his shoulder. Leslie Bibb as Lady Liberty is kind of like the perfect cross between Wonder Woman and Lois Lane in their twilight years. Leslie understands that Grace is the rock in the family, the glue that keeps them together even when their children often push them away. The other co-stars, especially the key members of the Union, also give outstanding performances. One in particular is Ben Daniels, who does a tremendous job as Sheldon's hot-headed, underappreciated, logic-based older brother, Walter. The dynamics between Sheldon and Walter is as impactful as the friction between Sheldon and his daughter Chloe, feistily played by Alina Kamporis. The episodes go back and forth between the Depression era and the present day, while other shows generally would dedicate an episode to telling you the complete origin story. Jupiter's Legacy chooses to evenly spread it out, but they all have a certain beat to it. They're all measured to the build-up. So what happens in the Depression era speaks volumes to what happens in the present day, and vice versa. The action sequences are spectacular. I don't know how it is in the comic books. I don't know whether or not this show follows the look and the design on those pages, but the superhero fights are massive, ambitious, and consequential. When I heard that Stephen S. D. Knight was the one developing this project, I knew we were in good hands. I was a huge fan of his Spartacus series franchise, and although Jupiter's Legacy may not be as daring and graphic as Spartacus, it is still edgy and bold and doesn't pull its punches. And believe it or not, the writers successfully keep the surprises hidden from us. I, for one, could not predict them. And those revelations make Jupiter's Legacy binge-watching experience all the more rewarding, because by that point, you are hooked and you can't wait for another season of it. I think Netflix has found themselves their next big hit with Jupiter's Legacy, and I would be shocked if the result turns out to be otherwise.